Okay, everyone, places. This is the final scene, so let's make this one count. And action.
Hello everybody, and welcome again to Mike's Retro Tech. Welcome to another video. Bit different today. I've received something in the post that has completed a collection that I had one of 30 odd years ago. So let me find it very quickly. "30 years ago, I had Cassette 50 on the Spectrum." Now, Cassette 50, for those that don't know, I'm sure you all know, is a compilation cassette of 50 games. Can you see that? Yes, apologies for the shadow of the camera. 50 games for an 8-bit machine written in BASIC. And these can only be described as dire, naff, crap, rubbish, pants. They were available mail order originally for £9.95 via this original magazine advert. And you could buy this and you would get a free digital calculator watch, which at the time was great. But anyway, there was a Spectrum version. There was a Commodore 64 version. There was a BBC Micro version. There was a ZX81 version. There was a Dragon version. And there was a VIC-20 version. Now at the time, these 6 were the most popular that you could buy. And then when you went into the magazines of the other 8-bit computers, you started to see adverts for their versions appearing. And then you had the Amstrad CPC 464. Then it started getting a little hazy because that really was probably more famous than the Dragon, but for some reason they sort of like all appeared together. Now it started then to go into the more obscure machines, so you could get the Oric 1. We need to push these up here a bit because, as you'll see, there's more to come. So the Oric 1, an obscure machine. More obscure than that was the Oric Atmos. Now the Oric machine, as you've probably seen, was the white one, looked like a Spectrum, very strange keys. The Atmos was the black machine that had a proper full travel keyboard and was in black with red keys. A bit more rare. Then you get to the Apple. So, you can see that. Apple. So that was for the Apple 8-bit machines. So that was for the Apple 8-bit machines. So if we now move these down to there, can we still see all those? Yes, we can, just so. The last 2 that I've been waiting for 6 months to appear anywhere. The Atari 8-bit version. And the even more rare and even harder to find, the Acorn Electron version. So that there is, see if we can zoom out for you a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the 8-bit computers from 1979 to 1986, I want to say, with the Amstrad. But anyway, 50 games per cassette, 12 machine types. To be fair, the BBC games, some people say, work on the Electron and vice versa. I've never tried it because these tapes have never been played. But suffice to say that They are all of varying quality. They all really should come with clear cassette tape boxes, or they should all come with black boxes. I'm not quite sure yet. Probably the black ones. And the interesting thing is that if we open some of these up, the Oric one for say, yeah, as an example. See, that's a blue cassette. That's very strange. Never seen that. That must be a third party one that somebody's replaced from a broken one. Anyway, the Oric cassette is blue background, yellow writing. Okay. That, I think, is revision 1. The Electron, on the other hand, not that one. That's the same. So the Atari is a slightly duller yellow. Okay, so that's those. And then, lo and behold, see, the ZX81 cassette is completely busted. I need to get replacement for that. So, the ZX81 cassette is, as you can see, white on blue. Now, I need to do some more research on this because possibly the yellow version of the ZX81 cassette may have different games, rearranged games. Now, there is a website dedicated to all these cassettes with a list of all the games on it, and I'll put a link somewhere around here or maybe in the description. And it goes through all the games that are missing. Now, I do know for a fact that the Electron cassette, some issues only had 48 games, some had 49, the majority had 50, and then some had 2 or 3 games that were actually different. Still 50, but different games. So it strikes me as being that was a remaster or a reprint of the cassette. Anyway, let's go and have a look and see what each of these games are. So we really should put these in, I suppose, order. Now, there we go. Look at that. So that was bought originally W.H. Smith's, £4.95. So that was after the event when Cascade themselves couldn't sell them off and they threw them at the retailers. And at that time, W.H. Smith was a big proponent of selling Spectrum and ZX81 games. Now, Spectrum. I won't go through all of these because there's obviously 12 cassettes. Now, can you see what that says? Probably not. So, game number 1, Muncher. Game number 2, Ski Jump. Game number 3, Basketball. So very basic games. So let's try the Electron cassette and see what we get on that one. So there we go. Game 1, Maze Eater. Game 2, Galactic Attack. Game 3, Space Mission. Now, do we get Muncher? Not in that current form, but we do get the Maze Eater. 34 on the Spectrum is Field. 34 on the Electron is Ghosts. So, possibly they just had a raft of games that they bought from people, and depending on what format the games were written in was what appeared on the cassette. They must have got rid of many hundreds of really rubbish games to put these on, and these are dire. But enough about that. This is what I believe to be a complete set. Total cost, 50 quid, possibly, maybe more. What could I get on eBay? No, seriously, I'm not going to sell them, I'm keeping them. But it's interesting to see the print quality is different between each one. So they were all done either at different production facilities or at different times. Say like if the Spectrum and the ZX81 were released at the same time, they sort of like look the same. The VIC-20 and the Dragon have different shades of blue. The shade of blue there is slightly different from the shade of blue there. So very varied. And these you see are green here, and the Amstrad one looks more grey. But to be fair, that could be because the Amstrad cassette box is an absolute shambles. I mean, see look, there's another one. How different is that? So there's 3 versions that I need to look out for now. Yeah, ignore the red pen. That's really poor. But cassette 50 in that font. Against, you see that in that font. So I honestly don't know. But see the Amstrad cassette, as you can see, this is missing this bit. Is missing the flappy flange. So, and it's been stuck down with sellotapes. This has been really poorly treated over the years. Yeah, so I'm on the lookout for a better quality Amstrad copy. So hopefully I can bring them all up to the same sort of inlay quality. The BBC Micro one has got like a fold in it that's been poorly treated. But other than that, the rest of them are fairly good quality. There's some fading. And as I said before, some of these boxes are broken. The VIC-21 has a chip in the corner. The ZX81 is broken. The Oric one, which was here, is blue for some reason and not black. Don't understand why that is. What I really want to do is get all clear cases. Now, I'm sure that I can do that by going to a car boot sale and buying old cassette boxes. But yeah, so fairly rare with the Apple, quite rare with the Atmos and the Oric. I actually got those two together as a pair from an Oric collector. He very kindly sold them. I mean, they were quite expensive because he knew that I wanted them quite urgently. The Electron was cheap. The Atari was so cheap off eBay. The Apple one was really cheap, and I've not seen another one of those come along. And the Amstrad one was, you know, really very cheap, but I'm not surprised because it just looks rubbish. Yeah, so that is my newest acquisition and haul. A full, what I believe to be a full collection of Cascade's Cassette 50. Now, as I said before, I'm not going to do a review of all the games because there are websites, as I've put in the links on the description below, there are websites that do a grand job of that. And to be fair, all of these can be downloaded as images for SD cards, depending on what emulator you want to use or what hardware you've got. Personally, what I will be doing, I will be playing each of these under MAME or MES or an emulator of that type, because I do possess all of these in image format, and I will play these and see what they are actually like. That's about it, really. Thanks for watching this quite short video. I hope you found it interesting to see a full collection, because it's very rare that these appear online. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you get notifications when I release more video content. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. Leave me a comment. And on that note, thank you very much and good night.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.